Hello, my name is Leo. Welcome back for another episode of Victoria 3 as Argentina. In previous episode we started to damage the relation to Chile, in hopes to declare war on them maybe in the next few episodes. We're also paying up a lot of the debt that we have. Actually, we've managed to pay almost 1/3 of the debt that we had during the previous episode, so that's pretty decent. We've managed to increase our standard of living now to 14.2, which is actually honestly pretty good. We did also get the pasteurization, so we could probably do something with the livestock ranches, at least in here. So that's a bit of more electricity, but less laborers, which means that they can maybe go for some better paying jobs. Although, you know, there's not that much demand for there. Is there electricity in here? There is electricity, actually. And we could probably put the coal-fired plants there, just in case. So it might not have quite a much... Oh, actually, there's a huge demand for the electricity. I suppose we did get the electricity demand in here, so yeah, that's gonna fix some of the issues. And for the... Actually, there's no... Let's see, where do we have livestock ranches? Over here. I don't think we had electricity on this state, though. No. Nor do we have any over there. Corrientes probably has electricity, yes. There's not a huge demand for it there, but it is producing potentially quite a bit. Actually, let's put the electric street lights there. That's going to kickstart the industry, and then, of course, there's... well, the motor industry is good to start using the electricity. It's going to be 90 electricity. That might be actually a bit too much, but we shall see. And, of course, well, the logging camps... We've got plenty of transportation available, so we can maybe reduce the labor need a bit further. And then the livestock ranch, there we go. So, refrigerator storage, a bit less labor is needed. We've already got the barbed wire fence in there. Increased wool gathering. Intense wool gathering is something that we can't do quite yet. We need to mechanize farming for that, which, to be fair, might be the next thing spreading. So there's at least a few things switch around. There's probably a lot more than we could do. Especially with the... Did we already switch the fishing wharf? No, we didn't. So there's a refrigerated storage or refrigerated rail cars. We'll probably go with the rail cars, actually. There's plenty of transportation available. Oh, Russia sounds a bit ultra hungry. What is this about, then? Oh, right. Congolese aristocrat revolt. Right. Well, that's none of our uses. Technically speaking, at least. One of the things that we might want to do is go ahead and... Well, actually, we haven't unlocked the destroyers yet, so we'll wait on that one. But we'll want to see what we can do there. So what did it start spreading? Nitration fixation. Okay, so better fertilizer use on farms. So even more production. That will be probably good enough. So about 6 months we'll get the destroyers. I think one of the things that we might still want to do is just get more universities. Get another 2 in here. Will probably be a little bit expensive to build. So it might not... Oh, agitator appears. Alright then. So there's mass conscription. Got a little bit of support. Council Republic has got a little bit of support, but I don't really want to go for either one of those. I prefer to rely on the professional army just to have the better morale, or lose less morale in the combat, because the... No, that's not the correct area. The mass conscription means that you get 5% more morale loss, whereas professional army means 10% less. So there's a 15% difference in there on the losses total. And in protracted warfare, that can be very crucial difference in there. So have a looking on the populating the Americas. So we need to... Oh, wow, we need to have 18 million? Wow. That just keeps on going up and up. The fruits of our labor. You know, we'll get the armed forces approval a bit higher. Although, we're going to have the attraction because they are part of the government right now. So if they have a bit more power, that might allow us to push some more laws. But I don't know if there's a lot of laws that they support that I still need to pass. Honestly, I think they've got most of their laws already. The oil rigs over here at least are producing, but we need to get a bit more transportation. And for that, we just need to get more workers at the railway. Which I suppose means that they're paying pretty good wages in there. Still got 8 that have, or 8 states that have a bit of problems with the standard of living. And the radius shortage, yeah, there's a huge shortage of that. Also, Corrientes has a bit of a huge electricity shortage there. Are we getting another power plant? If we're not, I'll go ahead and build one extra in there. I'm sure that we'll have a use for it. Although they haven't fully hired yet, but if we have a look at the deficit, it's still about 60, and this one will be producing about 100 electricity total. So having the second one there will definitely help. So now the income has slowed down quite a bit, but that's partially because we reduced the taxes so much that the standard of living has increased a lot. Which does, of course, mean that the people are spending more money, and the investment pool is actually a lot larger once again. It's about, well, it's almost 2.5 million. It's getting £27,000 per week. So honestly, we might be able to afford increasing the construction speed even further. Maybe we'll just go ahead and build another construction sector in our capital. It might mean that we'll start making a bit of deficit, but it's alright. It will still keep increasing the economy a lot faster. Four workers died today at Buenos Aires dye works when an industrial-sized tub of hot dye accidentally spilled out over the workshop floor and the unsuspecting workers. The puns are a bit painful, but I'll take it. So, where's this Buenos Aires? No, we don't usually want to have 5% of the laborers become more radical. We'll increase the mortality rate for a little bit, I suppose, but that's alright. So we've got 1.5 million radicals, we've got over 2 million loyalists, and that loyalist number seems to be going up, slowly at least. Ooh, and rubber discovered in Kasai, alright then. We're not really getting too much money from any other sources, but at least the interest rates that we're paying are down to 20,000. Have we gotten the... Oh no, Betty Bourgeoisie hasn't... If we were to get their approval high enough, we would get a -10 on the loans again. And let's actually have a look. Interest rate is only 10.5. I mean, that's still pretty high, but if we had another 10% less in there, I think it's not going to be 0.5% then, but it's going to be 10% off the total. So there's the multiplication, where major power minus 25%. So it would be another 10% should that multiplication. So it would still reduce the interest rate a decent bit. Oh, oil discovered and Corrientes. Oh, ho, ho. Yeah, we'll encourage the industry there. How much did we have? Oh, it's another 2. Okay. Well, let's just go ahead and queue those up. The sooner we have those built, the better. We're getting another university, so we'll already have 150, at least 156 innovation after that. But we could have a max of 168. So we could still get at least, technically speaking, 4 more. And still be getting the benefits for it. I guess at this point we'll just go ahead and build another 3 then. It will increase some of the expenditures. But we'll just have to live with it. So we haven't increased our army too much right now, but I suppose partially it's just getting the economy a bit stronger. We are number 9 in the Great Powers list now, so let's actually have a look. Who have we surpassed? Egypt. Oh. Well, technically speaking, Brazil is a bit higher there. So we've surpassed Brazil, I guess. But regardless, in terms of prestige, we need to still surpass... well, we don't have to surpass anyone, let's be honest. But it would be nice to surpass some... So we have actually gotten higher GDP now than Brazil has. The difference isn't huge, but it is there, and the standard of living is a lot better in our nation than theirs. The next economy to catch up with it would be Italians, which is a bit easier than done. Not making a lot of money now. Oh, did we... Right, the destroyer is about to be researched. After that, it's probably going to be either dreadnoughts or these 2. Well, I mean, that's the only options that I can start spreading. So there's the destroyers. Let's have a look. What is it going to be spreading? I'm hoping we follow the wargaming, to be fair, but... oh, no, it's war propaganda. I mean, the reduced morale loss is still quite nice. Let's have a look at the navy now. Can we upgrade the... No, we can't upgrade either one of these ships. 2 different... Oh, it's just monitors. Oh, right, destroyers. Oh, the torpedo boats could be upgraded destroyers, but I don't know if the... Okay, so the monitors... I guess at this point we'll just go ahead and remove the monitors entirely. What we'll do is we'll build 10 destroyers. Might be a little bit more expensive, assuming that destroyers is something that... Yeah, no, we can easily build those. We can't build the submarines because we have no radios. And we haven't got the dreadnoughts for the ironclads, but that's alright. First election. Right, this is the women's suffrage thing. So intelligence against the feminist ideology or... Great victory for suffragists. So 30 popularity. Who is that anyway? That is the rule folk... Oh. No, we'll have intelligence here be feminist, I suppose. So there we go. We've got 1 goal at least done. All discovered at Mato Grosso. Oh. Is there any... No, still no oil in our territory. But the Brazilians have 6... Not 6, 5 in there. Right, it seems like Brazil actually has all of Mato Grosso now. I don't know if they did some trading or something, or just decided to take it. I do actually wonder, Chile. Now, we don't have great relations with you. But if I was to trade states, just out of curiosity, I don't think they'll take this. If I give you that, would you give me Patagonia? Even if we owe an obligation? Nope. Yeah, Patagonia is probably a lot more valuable. All things considered. But, you know, we'll just take that with force sooner or later. Now, we are still in cordial relations with them. So, it's going to be a little bit reduced speed on that. We still also got 10 million credit to pay off. Although, it seems like the speed is at least slowly increasing. We've got quite a bit of buildings to build. And there's a lot of university and naval bases now. But we do need to get the Navy up and running soon. So, we're going to get our prestige back. We probably lost a lot of interest. Well, some of them, maybe. But luckily, we've got quite a bit of areas in here that we won't be able to lose anymore. At least not easily. We've still got truce with Bolivia and Russia. Oh, oil discovery in the south. Unfortunately, that's 0 oil deposits for us. And we're slowly incorporating this. We don't have a whole lot of infrastructure available. We've got a little bit, mind you, but it's not quite enough. The population is quite tiny. It's at about 1,000 people. It's increasing by 7. So, per year, it's not a lot. No, we lost South China. Oh, does that mean that some of our trade routes might not be active anymore? Oh, no, it didn't stop them yet. Still importing a lot of silk, which is actually good. There is quite a bit of demand for silk. I do wonder, though, do we still have textile mills that are not using elastics? There would be more silk and rubber, but that at the same time would increase the luxury cloth. It might not actually be that much worth it, quite frankly. Not right now. What we could do, though, is... Well, actually, the electric sewing machines, we probably won't be able to do those in all places either. Let's have a look. So where do we have our textile mill? That's already using the correct stuff. This one was not. Okay, so we can put that in there. Now, we could potentially reduce the labor use in here, but probably don't need to do that right now. So we've got 14.5 standard living, so that is improving. We did increase the construction speed again, so we've got 172 total construction now. It was pretty decent. And the investment pool is still growing. It's 3 million now. So going for laissez-faire would actually be quite profitable for us. I'm hoping that... okay, what is... Okay, Free Trade Party is going to have 5% of the votes right now. According to this, they still got quite a bit of influence, mind you. They got 26%. But they might just not have the votes required. And I think some of the subsidies might actually be going down now. Well, it's probably a lot of fluctuating in there, but like we're using a lot more power and the transportation, so that makes some of these buildings a bit more profitable. It's probably not profitable enough for all the things that we need them, quite frankly, but it is at least a step to the desired direction. Actually, we can put in some rail transportation there. That one's already got one. Sugar plantation can get that. So we'll reduce the workforce requirement a little bit. So there's going to be a little bit unemployed. But of course, there's still quite a few jobs available. Which is not everything is necessarily worth the wage, necessarily. I could go for the electric trains as well. You know what? It says transportation price is going to go up. Surely that's a mistake there. Right. Kindly burn this letter. Oh, Patriotic League would lose momentum. Or... I'm guessing that's the leader of... Yeah, that's the leader of Petty Board to lose popularity. We'll just reduce their momentum, I suppose. The university is being built. We've got actually fairly decent legitimacy right now. Money is slowly accumulating. We've still got 10 million credit to pay off. We almost have 50 million GDP. So that's growing. And it's growing fairly nicely, to say the least. We can't really afford reducing taxes, though. Although I wonder, is there any better... So the 14.6 thousand from... Oh, there's a reduction on some of these costs now. Oh. We don't have enough to actually press for them, mind you. Oh, it is reduced for the consumption taxes as well. Good to know. Or the existing consumption taxes. Right, so 12.3 thousand is for the automobiles. That's the highest of essentially the luxury tier stuff. That isn't already on there, and it's not good enough compared to luxury furniture or porcelain, so we won't be switching the tax around there. Although I do wonder, how much are we getting from the... Oh, that's 30,000 from the service tax. Yeah, there's no way that we can get anything more out of that, can we? No, not really. We don't really want to start taxing the basics like the grains and such. That's just going to be a recipe for disaster. But the radicals haven't been increasing too much. The loyalists are slowly increasing as well. So that is good. 14.6 standard of living, so that is still going up and up. I think we might just keep on doing something, or just, you know, making sure that we get most out of it. Is there any reason for... No, the pot stills aren't really worth it. There's just so much... Oh, right, automated bakery. We can't do that one yet. Oh, there we go. We're now maxed out on... Well, almost maxed out on the innovation. We could still have one more university, actually. But we've got a fairly good situation in here. But the film is going to be done in 3 to 4 weeks. More railways being built. Well, there we go. 12.3 thousand pounds per week increase. So do we... We're not building all 3 or 4 of these yet. But at the same time, we're getting a bit of fleets, at least. Now, to be fair, a lot of them are probably hiring right now. It's going to take a while before they're fully hired. But we will have a lot of destroyers in here, which will probably be fairly effective. They have less morale loss than the torpedo boats. They have more defense than offense. Oh, we've got a new president. So, National Civic Union won once again. I wonder if I could bring in... That wouldn't really be worthwhile, would it? So first of all, the Patriotic League is going to have to go. That would be probably the most, or the highest legitimacy. I guess we'll just go with that. There you go. Film is almost done, so that's going to give us a bit more prestige. Speaking of which, prestige did drop down quite a bit. It's probably because we're still rebuilding our fleet. And looks like the private sector is going to take over the investment pool is going to take over the construction for a little while. Of course, we don't have anything else queued up. Oh, there's the film unlocked. Does that actually unlock some better... Yeah, Arts Academies. We're going to use a bit of electricity. Oh, but we don't actually have electricity for everything. Or everywhere. We'll exempt those. We'll start using a little bit more at least. So there we go. And the private sector, yeah, the building cost is reduced. That will give us a bit more prestige. The military shipyard doesn't seem to be worthwhile right now, but I'm sure that once we increase our fleet a bit further, that's what I could do. I'm going to go ahead and increase the... Well, we'll have, what, 25 total, so yeah, it's actually going to take a while before it's fully active. Let's take a gander at the... Oh, man of war. Well, we don't need man of wars, to be fair. Oil we need desperately. Glass, we could use a bit more rubber. Oh, looks like the infrastructure levels over here are... Oh, international exchange standard is spreading. That's good. So the infrastructure levels are a little bit... Unfortunately, or not quite as good as they need to be, but the more minting and less loan interest rate is going to be very handy. And that, I believe, is just a flat rate for the thing, so it will go from 10.5 to 8.5, I think, for us. So that's honestly really good. Or somewhere around there, but it might actually not be quite too... But it's like at least 1.5% reduction in there. But yeah, infrastructure levels are a little bit reduced. Don't know what exactly is the problem there. And there's a whole lot of these states that just don't have the required standard of living for most people. Don't think that I can do too much about that. But let's have a look at, for example, Tucumán. So you do have a little bit of workers available there. You're building another tooling workshop. The urban centers aren't really hiring enough. Do we have a power plant in here? No. Let's go and build a power plant in there. Then we can start getting a lot better jobs going in there. And we're still making £45,000 per week. Now, that's mostly because this private sector is taking care of the construction for us. For the most part, at least. And thus, we are making a whole lot more money. The fleets are now being built up again. Oh, there we go. Standard of living 15. That's been a pretty sharp rise over there recently. I mean, to be fair, we did reduce taxes 2 steps, so that is already quite a significant increase. And of course, there's better and better jobs available for people. And the economy is definitely growing. And that is definitely quite helpful. Oh. Intelligentsia petition the government. Appointed bureaucrats. I suppose I could go for that one. No, you know what? I don't want to go back to that one. The institution cost multiplier is much more beneficial for us. And there's not really much else in here that we want to pass right now. So let's go with that. I think we might want to... Well, I suppose we kind of want to do pay more of the debt away. So right now... The investment pool is slowly reducing, but there's over 3 million in there, and we've got 9 million credit to pay away. But we are definitely reducing that very quickly. We've got almost £50,000 per week increase. Or, you know, we're paying almost £50,000 per week away. So that's going to reduce the credit fairly quickly. I think by the end of the game, if we don't need to take a debt any further, and we can keep something like this, we will have a decent treasury again in a matter of a few years, I reckon. But right now, it's probably best to not build too much ourselves and just let the private sector do it. I mean, at least they're providing some more jobs into places. There's actually a whole lot more motor industries in Buenos Aires. Okay. I mean, we do produce a lot of automobiles in here, and it's quite profitable. Scandinavia is improving relations with us. Well, that's good to know. We can't push for this one yet. Again, but that's okay. There's war going on in Africa. We don't really need to be worried about that one. Actually, at this point... I'm going to take away the interest in South Africa, or Africa in general. Put a little bit more in North America. And maybe a few interests in Europe. Maybe one in Liberia as well. There we go, so that might fix some of the issues. Or, like, we don't need to get all the notifications from all of those wars and such happening in Africa, because we don't have any foothold in there anymore. We traded that away in exchange for conquering Paraguay with the help of... Great Britain. We're running a little bit low on bureaucracy. We're not too far down yet, but I think what we might want to do is just get another government administration in here. Just get a pretty good boost from the skyscraper and all that. Oh, Brazil is having a revolution. Alright, then well that's going to weaken them a bit further. Unfortunately, we're not quite to the point where we can declare war on Chile. But we're not that far off either. I just do wonder, if we were to, say, make protectorate, they might not have anyone supporting them, although let's double check. I mean, Britain might. Oh, Russia sides with Brazil, okay. Romania. Oh, Romania is a thing. I didn't realize that. But yeah, no, they are. Also, Hungary is still a thing. And Romania abandoned Brazil. Alright then. Well, you do you. Has anyone built the... So, currently, French... Well, the French own Panama. I don't suppose anyone's built any of the canals. I think the AI rarely builds them. No, it hasn't been built, either one of those. They're still making a steady £30,000 per week. So less than 9 million to pay back. We've got 50.2 million GDP, or around 50 million GDP. We're number 12 worldwide, actually, so that's pretty decent. If we do have a look at the British market, and in terms of members, we make about 7.2% of the market in total share, but Great Britain only makes 72, or not 70, 42% as well, so the difference isn't that massive. Oh, it is still significant, mind you, but it isn't that massive. How's the populating the Americas going? So, no, it's still 18 million that we need to have. We've got 13, almost 13 and a half incorporate population, so it's getting better. Did we ever incorporate this? This one was incorporated, and that is incorporate as well. There's a bit of turmoil in here, especially in Mato Grosso, but partially because standard of living is just very, very bad in there. We do have a railway. Do we use that for... Okay, we do use it at the rubber plantation at least. And at the logging camp, although the logging camp doesn't really have a lot of people in there. You know, I'm going to put public motor carriages in here for the urban centre, so that there's going to be a little bit less workers needed. It will, of course, need a bit more expensive resources. Oh, there we go. Nitrogen fixation. So that's the fertilizers. That actually does remind me. We do have some rice farms, which I did switch to fertilizer, but I had them on simple farming for a long while. I think we'll just go ahead and go for chemical fertilizers and all of these. We'll switch all of these. That is also going to make the fertilizer plants a lot more profitable. In the rice farms, we could try going for the steam-powered treasure machines. Although, where do we have the rice farms anyway? It's Baja Baracuay. Okay, you know what? We will do that. That will save us a bit more workers in there. But, well, there's a little bit peasants available, actually. But there's a lot of places that aren't really hiring right now. It's a lot of the munitions, arms, and artillery. Is there infrastructure? There is a bit of... Actually, quite a bit of infrastructure available. So one of the things that we could maybe do is start... Oh, right, let's put the gas rate lights. Improve the employment there. Furniture manufacturer is already using the rotary valve engine. Textile mills. I mean, we could potentially increase the laborers hiring, but it's not really going to be that much more profitable. We could try going for elastics in one place, and that could be in here. So that's going to hire a bit more shopkeepers. Oh, there we go. Mechanized farming is spreading as well. Alright, let's go ahead and queue that one. We'll get the war propaganda soon, then we'll get the international exchange standards, and after this, it's probably going to be... I wouldn't mind getting the artificial silk, let's be honest. I don't know if the synthetics plant is really worth... Well, like, it is kind of handy, yeah, but we can put the public trader there as well. So it's not necessarily going to make a huge profit right now, but that's partially because we don't need the dyes that desperately, although we can't farm the dyes in here, so the textile mills over here at least get some local dye production. Could potentially put in the mechanized looms there. Reduce the labor use a little bit further. There's a whole lot of transportation available in this state. That's for sure. Oh, we could actually put rail transportation in the vineyards. Sure. It never really dawned on me that that is actually a possibility, but yeah, no, that makes sense. Right then, so we're making, now that we're not building, £62,000 per week. How's the relation with Chile? 23? So it is going to be dropping sooner or later. I think what we shall do is we'll have a look at the... Oh, there's a huge demand for oil. I don't think I can do much about it, quite frankly. Oh, and now suddenly there's a huge drop in market access. I don't know where exactly that comes from. Like, is that because of our main state over here doesn't have, or is it because convoys? It could be because convoys, to be fair. Is Britain fighting a war? They are fighting a war. But that shouldn't really have an impact there. I do have convoys. And now it's back to 92, so can we actually see the... Due to low shipping lane effectiveness. Ah, okay. That is in fact the reason. Let's go ahead and build ourselves another port in here to get a bit more convoys that the British can maybe use. No, well, I mean, we'll use, but hopefully that will fix some of the issues. And we'll also get another port in our capital. So that's a bit more construction. And that does mean that investment port is going to be increasing again. We are below 8 million now in credit. So that's, again, we went from about 10, was it 10.5 million to probably about 7.5 by the end of the episode. Maybe a bit less even, but somewhere around there. So now we've got pretty good prestige. Almost 680. We do have a look at the prestige, so we are definitely ahead of Brazil. Well, Brazil's having a revolution, so that does make quite a difference there. We got quite a bit of catching up to do to catch up with British Raj, but that's not a mandatory thing. In terms of GDP, we're higher than Canada. We're about 5 million behind Italy. So we are definitely pretty high on that as well. Unfortunately, I don't think our rank can go above 9 right now, because we can't become a major or great power. But at least we are a major power. Of course, if we were to leave the British market, we might be able to do that, but we are quite dependent on the resource from the British market. So it's probably best for us to not slip away from there. So one of the reasons why I'm not expelling the diplomats from Chile is that I want to be able to use all, or at least most of the infamy that we can take in a war against Chile and just annex them entirely. And that's going to give us several more states. It's also going to give us access to a whole lot more industries. Actually, why is the Chilean GDP 8.5 million? It will probably drop a little bit initially with us conquering them. But afterwards, we can probably get a whole lot out of it. Plus, there's going to be a lot of coal, sulfur, lead, some whaling even. Some oil from there. There's also some oil in the southern state in here. Which, of course, is going to give us a bit better situation with all of that. Oh, wind wells. Flowers, oil fires, and other lethal accidents are becoming more common as the hunt for oil in Corrientes grows more ruthless. Let's see, how good is the industrialists? We've got still fairly good relations with them. The throughput is going to be reduced a little bit, which will cause some issues. Get some of the ports in here. So how have we got on the... Oh, there we go. The British market access back to full. They might have just had a bit of a lack of convoys for a brief moment there or something. Which happens every now and then. But there we go. 15.1 standard of living. And literary rate of 80.5. Oh, now we can get up to 160 innovation each week from that. Plus 168 from our current one. We could probably afford building one more university. That's to 16 in our capital. That's going to be probably pretty extra throughput in there. So you're getting 51 innovation just from this state alone. That ain't too shabby. And you start with 50, don't you, at this base? So, yeah. It's about half what we produce. It looks like Brazil is still... Oh, Russia is fighting against the... Oh! The Russians are actually losing the battles in there. It seems like... Okay, well, the Liberal Revolt is still getting crushed. But it's just, you know, they might lose a battle here and there. The Brazilians and Russians, but not too bad for them. So how is the relation with Chile now? It's 19... Oh, right, so we could have a look at the wars. We're not really going to start it quite yet, but soon. Return state Patagonia is probably going to be the main goal. It's only going to be 1 infamy from there. Then return state Argentina, that's 1.2 infamy. So if we take the entire nation, we're still going to be below 50 infamy. So that could be probably doable. But I think we are actually out of time for this episode. So I think next episode we might do another war. We managed to pay over a decent bit of the loads. We don't actually need to activate the conscripts. We can just get the regular armies active and then conquer. But anyway, if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also check out the links down below in the description. But other than that, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, bye bye.